everybody, welcome back to the Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David, and this is a deck review. Today, we're going to look at the Dia de los Muertos bicycle playing cards from the Edgy brothers. This was a Kickstarter, successful funded Kickstarter, and the Edgy brothers had this deck that is commemorating the Day of the Dead. And it was printed by the USPCC, or the United States Playing Card Company. And the Kickstarter actually had several different versions of this deck. They printed a couple different versions. I got the standard version, and so that's the one we'll be looking at today. The illustrations on all of this was done by a gentleman named David Edgy, and he's the artist behind the Edgar Allan Poe playing card Kickstarter project. I don't know if you're aware of that. You could go back and look at that if you're interested. If you don't know what Day of the Dead is, it's Spanish. It's a Mexican holiday. It's observed throughout Mexico and all around the world in a couple different cultures. What it is the holiday focuses on gatherings of both family and friends, and they pray for and they remember people who are either their friends or their family members who died, basically. And it's particularly celebrated in Mexico, where the day is actually, it's a national holiday. The banks are off, mail's off, and it takes place between October 31st, so Halloween. It takes place on November 1st and November 2nd, so it's kind of like that little three-day weekend. And so if you ever see like decorations or imagery that's associated with the holiday, you're going to see images like mariachi, Katrina, matadors, and sugar skulls, and so that is kind of what this deck is comprised of as well. The tuck box says bicycle across the front, and there's a big, huge decorated sugar skull there in the center. It says Dia de los Muertos, so Day of the Dead in Spanish, and playing cards. On the sides, it also says Dia de los Muertos and playing cards, and the United States Playing Card Company. There's some ad copy there on the bottom, and the top says Poker and the Edgy Brothers. The back is a back design, reminiscent of the back design of the card. And the tuck flap has a custom tuck seal. The little flaps at the inside have little flowers that are also scattered on the sides of the tuck. And the entire thing is kind of washed in a yellow or an aged paper or parchment look. That's pretty much it for the tuck case. Now let's take a look at these cards. This deck is completely standard. It is a modern cut, and it uses the retail stock, and it does have air cushion finish. And if you'd like to learn more about cut, stock, or finish, you can click this link. The back design of this deck, it's two skulls on the top and bottom, and it's just completely surrounded by ornate imagery and flowers. It's really beautiful. It does have a very thick cream border. It's that same parchment, that same yellowing. And you're going to get that on the face as well. And so that will help with reverse cards considerably. Lots of flowers, lots of floral kind of vine work in here. There's hearts on the skull itself. You got flowers in the corners. And so it is really a beautiful and very well done back design that I think really pays tribute to this Mexican holiday. With this deck, you're going to get a couple of things, the first of which is there's two jokers, and they're both different, and you'll notice that is a skeleton wearing a hat, big purple hat, and then they're holding framed pictures of little kids. What this was a Kickstarter backer option. You could donate a certain amount of money towards the project, and then you could have a picture of one of your passed away, deceased loved ones in the Joker's image. And so I'm assuming that both of these children are deceased. And so it's not really beneficial for anyone else who receives the deck, but I'm sure it's a very special tribute to those that have lost loved ones. The other thing you're going to get with this deck is a extra gaff card. It's a King of Clubs, but it's a skeleton of a bull. Not really magical, but it is kind of like an additional King of Clubs. The other King of Clubs is the Matador. So you have the Matador and the bull, and they kind of go hand in hand. I suppose you could work a trick around it, but in reality, it's just two cards, but with different images. That said, you're also going to get two Ace of Spades. So you could make the same argument that one of these is the gaff card, wherein it's just really an extra. You have an ace with a sugar skull. All the aces in this deck have a sugar skull on them, but this ace has the Grim Reaper, and that really is kind of paying tribute to the fact that the Ace of Spades is the death card.
Here are some of the special cards you get with this deck. This is the King of Clubs Gaff, and here are the 2 Jokers, and here are your 2 Ace of Spades.
Like I said before, all the aces are sugar skulls, and then you'll notice that the pip at the head or the forehead of each one is an indicator as to the suit behind it. So this is the clubs, of course, because there's a club right there in the forehead, and this is the diamonds. The pips and indice cards in this deck are all original. The font in the corner is unique, and it's a little bit small. And then all the graphics have kind of like this curly-Q element to it that make each one of the suit indicators unique. All of the court cards are unique in this deck as well, and each different suit carries with it a different theme. As you can see, the diamonds here are religious in aspect, and the clubs here kind of reminiscent of mariachi theme.
I wanted to show you some of these really beautiful suited courts. Here are the clubs, and here are the diamonds.
Well, that's pretty much it for this deck review. As always, recommend that you like this video just to stay up to date on the latest in cards and card magic. You can follow us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/magicorthodoxy. You can also like our page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/magicorthodoxy. Thanks. Bye.